Good afternoon. It is Friday, July 12th, 2024. The chief high priest was recognized by the Romans as the leader for the Jewish nation. And only the Romans had the authority for capital punishment. So any request to execute Jesus or anyone else must come to the Romans through the office of the high priest. So they took Jesus to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. And he made the choice to interrogate Jesus himself. In Mark chapter 15, and I'm reading from verses 1 to 5 in the New Living Translation, second edition, it says, "Very early in the morning, the leading priests, the elders, and the teachers of the law, the entire high council, met to discuss their next step. They bound Jesus, led him away, and took him to Pilate, the Roman governor. So Pilate asked Jesus, 'Are you the king of the Jews?' Jesus replied, 'You have said it.' Then the leading priests kept accusing him of many crimes. And Pilate asked him, 'Aren't you going to answer them? What about all of these charges they are bringing against you?' But Jesus said nothing, much to Pilate's surprise. Pilate asked a very leading question. 'Are you the king of the Jews?' If Jesus had said, 'I certainly am,' that would have been interpreted as rebellion against Caesar, and he would have easily earned the death penalty that way. But instead, Jesus replied, 'Hey, it's as you say, you're the one that said it,' putting it back on Pilate. Very frustrating for Pilate to have Jesus just stand there and not say anything. And the Jewish leaders kept shouting their accusations. And what did Jesus do? He kept quiet. Never once did he say, 'I did not,' or 'it's not true,' or did he even try to defend himself in any way. He just stayed silent. And sometimes being silent is the best way to control the situation. Jesus was in a no-win situation here. They were going to ask for his execution no matter what he said or what he did. They were so angry with him. And not only that, Jesus knew that he was headed for the cross. That was the Father's plan for world redemption, that you and I might be saved. He knew he was fitting directly in with the Father's plan. It really didn't matter whether he said anything or not. He was not trying to win an argument or win a court case. He was busy redeeming the earth. Sometimes in our communications with others, we need to be reminded that it's not our job to always win the argument. It's not our job to always win the case. That sometimes it's more important that we're concerned about someone's heavenly destination than it is whether or not we can beat them in an argument. Sometimes Christians can get pretty excited and stoop pretty low to win their arguments, when what we ought to do is follow the example of Jesus and recognize how tremendously in control he was of this situation just because he chose not to answer. It's almost as if he was telling the high priests, "It's not worth it for me to answer. Your questions do not deserve an answer." And he kept himself above the fray and presented himself to Pilate as someone who was in charge and knew what he was doing and knew there wasn't any reason to try and respond to all these spurious accusations. I think we could learn from Jesus that there are times it's best just to be silent and not try and win every single argument that comes our way. It's more important to reach people for Christ than it is to win arguments. And we could learn that from Jesus. This week, may you thank God for your salvation And thank God for Jesus willing to go to the cross for us. God bless you.